You really need to see this. The United States started a military operation, then within 48 hours, they stopped it. Why? Because Iran said so, and Washington listened. Now imagine a doorway, a very narrow doorway. 1/5 of the world's oil passes through it every single day. If that doorway closes, prices go up everywhere. You feel it at the petrol station, businesses feel it, countries feel it. That doorway is real. It is called the Strait of Hormuz. And right now, it is the most dangerous stretch of water on earth. Stay with me because this story affects all of us. Here is what is going on. Back on February 28th, the US launched a military campaign against Iran. It was called Operation Epic Fury. The goals were big. Washington wanted Iran to stop its nuclear program. It also wanted the Strait of Hormuz kept open for all ships freely with no conditions. For weeks, the two sides talked through Pakistan. Pakistan was the go-between. It passed messages. It kept both sides from walking away. Then on Monday, the US Navy began escorting commercial ships through the strait. They called it Project Freedom. Iran foreign minister had a different name for it. He called it Project Deadlock. He was right. Within 48 hours, President Trump posted the whole operation. He posted on Truth Social saying Pakistan and other countries asked him to stop. He said great progress has been made toward a deal with Iran. But here's a part that should make you pay attention. Iran has been asking for exactly this kind of deal for weeks, and Washington kept saying no until now. Think of this like two stubborn neighbors who refuse to talk to each other directly. Both want something, neither wants to give in fast. The US wants ships to move freely through the strait. It wants Iran's nuclear program gone completely, and it wants Iran to stop funding armed groups across the Middle East. Iran also wants three things. It wants the war to end, it wants the US naval blockade lifted, and it wants any new deal on the strait to give Iran a say in how it is managed. Iran's position has been simple from the start. Settle the strait first, nuclear talks can come later. Washington resisted that for weeks. Now, quietly, it appears to have come around. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio declared the military campaign over. He said the US now wants a memorandum of understanding, a written framework for future talks. That is almost word for word what Tehran demanded. Experts say Washington has in practice accepted Iran's terms. Now here is what most people don't know. This is not just a US-Iran story. There are big players working behind the scenes. Pakistan has been doing something remarkable. Senior officials have been in direct contact with both Washington and Tehran. They are passing sensitive messages that neither sides want to say out loud. That kind of quiet diplomacy is rare, and it is working, at least so far. Saudi Arabia is also involved. The Saudi crown prince reportedly pushed President Trump to pause the military mission. Riyadh wants the strait back to normal. The economy depends on it too. Then there is China. Iran's foreign minister flew to Beijing this week. China buys more than 80% of Iran's oil, so Beijing has enormous influence over Tehran. But China is also in its own fight with Washington right now over trade. So asking China to pressure Iran is complicated. And there's one more deadline nobody is talking about enough. The Hajj pilgrim begins around May 25th. About 1.8 million Muslims, including Iranians, will converge on Mecca. Nobody wants a war during that period. The political cost could be too enormous for everyone. But do not celebrate yet, because the hardest questions are still unanswered. The biggest gap is the strait itself. Iran wants a new agreement, one where Iran has a say over how ships pass through. Washington says that is completely unacceptable. They will not pay Iran at all to use what they call international waters. One expert in Tehran told Al Jazeera something honest and sobering. Even Iran does not know exactly how it wants to manage the strait, so both sides are negotiating something neither has fully figured out yet. And the nuclear question has not gone away. Rubio said it is being dealt with in negotiations, but he gave no details, no timeline, no plan. Iran's spokesman was equally blunt. He said at this stage, we do not have nuclear negotiations. Meanwhile, the ceasefire is barely holding. Iran's Revolutionary Guard allegedly fired missiles at the UAE on Monday and Tuesday. An oil facility was hit, 3 workers were wounded. Both sides denied responsibility, yet Washington chose not to escalate. The US Defense Secretary said, and I want you to hear this, the ceasefire certainly holds for now. So here is the simple truth. The US launched a military operation and Iran pushed back hard. And now, Washington is sitting at the table on Tehran's terms. That is a big shift. Experts are calling it a limited concession. Some say it shows Iran holds a more leverage in this standoff than Washington expected, and the whole world is watching to see what comes next. The coming days are critical. Watch Pakistan, they're the ones keeping this together. Watch China in the Trump 10 summit on May 14th, and watch whether this fragile ceasefire survives long enough for a deal to be signed. One wrong move, one missile, one ship incident, one headline speech, and everything could fall apart again. We'll be here covering every development as it happens. If this broke it down for you, subscribe right now to The Voice for All. We post every single day. Hit the bell so you never miss an update. See you tomorrow.